Okay, go ahead. Unmute.
Hey, good morning, Fellowship of Spirit.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. I'm really very happy to be the Sunday morning guest speaker today. What an exciting thing. I'm going to talk about your deja vu, but I'm very happy to be here again. And you know that it's been exactly 2 years since I was your Sunday speaker, so I guess it's about time. Now, I wish the circumstances could be different, I wish the circumstances were different, but it is what it is, and here we are. And I'm really enjoying this technology. I've got a little blazer on and my tie, but it's so amazing because I don't have to have shoes. Don't ask about the pants. Okay, just don't go there. But I'll tell you something. You know what's really crazy? You know what's really crazy because there's not enough crazy going on right now? Here's something that's really crazy. For me, it's afternoon. Okay, it's afternoon, but for you, it's just barely 10 o'clock in the morning. So I appear to be 2 hours into the future, and you all are 2 hours in my past. And is that wild? Is that the wildest thing you've ever heard? Okay, so here's the thing. From the vantage point of 2 hours into the future, okay, there's good news. The asteroid has not hit. The dinosaurs have not returned, and I have yet to see a murder hornet. So we got some good news there, but the day is young, and 2020 is barely half over, so we still got a chance on the dinosaurs. But seriously, people, look. Here's the thing. I see the news, all right, and it's very distressing. It's disturbing, and the truth of it is, I have been frightened by what I have seen on the news. I have felt discouraged about the nation that we are bequeathing to my son and daughter and to all of the young people. And I'll tell you something, I have seen a lot of news, all right? I have seen 6 decades worth of news, back to Walter Cronkite, back when the news was really something. And this is the first time that I've been really scared and really disturbed about what I have been witnessing. And we've all seen it on TV. You know how this works. There's people over here, and there's people over there, and then there's tear gas, and there's looting, and there's burning, and shots are fired, and then it erupts all over the country. And we have these people who are they're far left extremists, and there's people over there, and they're alt-right. Okay, is that the right word? And there's tear gas, and there's rubber bullets, and there's looting, and there's shooting, and this whole thing. And I remember why I stopped watching the news. All right. But look, here's the thing. What we need here is healing. All right? What we need is healing. There's a news flash. So just for right now, just for this morning, we don't need to know which candidate you support. All right? Just for right now, we don't need to know how you feel about climate change. And just for right now, we don't need to know where you stand on the burning question of do you wear a mask or not? To wear a mask or not? To wear a mask, that is the question. So we don't need to know that right now. We don't even need to know which color lives matter today, because life matters, and what the world is begging for is healing. Our world begs to be healed, and what we see on the news at night is a cry for help and a cry for healing. All right? So today, this afternoon for me, this morning for you all, I want to talk for a few minutes, and this is short, talk for a few minutes about healing. And what we're going to do is we're going to heal left and right. All right? We're all going to become healers this morning. And so here it is in a sort of a formula. When I heal left and right, I also heal up and down. When I heal the inside, I also heal the outside, because no one is healed alone in the kingdom. All right? So, what do we mean left and right? Okay? Well, first, I don't mean left and right in the usual sense of liberal or conservative or Democrat or Republican or us versus them or this versus that or us versus nothing. I'm actually using these words in the way that they are used Kabbalistically. All right? That is, according to the wisdom and the mysticism that was shared with the world through the Jewish folk and encoded into the Bible. Now, at this point, there should be a question, okay? There should be a question. I think we need to ask the question, why are there divisions among people at all? One planet, one world, why are there divisions at all? Imagine for a second being 10 years old and asking that question in Sunday school. Oh, teacher, why are there divisions among people? And what do you think the Sunday school answer would be? He said, well, Adam and Eve disobeyed God. I said, okay, well, fine. I'm sorry that happened, but what does that have to do with me? Well, they listened to the voice of the snake. Oh, okay, a talking snake. Well, now it's all clear. And because of their sin, we were all separated from God. Okay, so what does their sin have to do with me? Well, they were the first people and they were our representatives. So, oh, now, wait a minute. Hold on now, just hold on. Our representatives, they don't represent me. And I'll tell you something, anybody talking to a snake and getting answers back most certainly does not represent me. You see what I'm saying? So the traditional answers are not going to help us. Okay? And that's a reason why, one of many reasons why I really fell in love with the teaching of the Kabbalah. Because if we were to ask one of the great teachers of the Kabbalah to explain the divisions among people, well, what would he say? He said, well, it is explained in the story of Adam and Eve. And it's just that, okay? It's a story. It's a story, but a special kind of a story, not an ordinary story, but a special kind of story that contains layer upon layer upon layer of encoded information. It's a code, all right? Adam and Eve is a code for the unified soul of all humanity. We were all there. We were all there. We all made the decision to come into incarnation. We all made the decision to separate from God and to separate from one another. We all made the decision as one unified soul, code name Adam and Eve. All right? No victims here. We all decided to take human form and to take upon ourselves the collective illusion of being separate from the love and the light and the presence of God. Okay? Why? Good question. So that we could learn, okay, so that we could learn to create our own happiness, create our own fulfillment, in short, to become creators in our own lives ourselves. In other words, to become like God. All right? Now, let's take a look at a short statement that's buried in the book of Leviticus. Now, here's a secret. I'm going to tell you all a secret, okay? Here's a secret. Social distancing. Here's how to do it. All you have to do, if somebody says, well, what did you do in church this morning? I say, well, we had a guest speaker. It was okay. And we looked at Leviticus chapter 11, and they will back off from you. Okay, I promise you. And there's your social distance. They will back up from you. So anyway, try it. Leviticus chapter 11, verses 44 and 45 says, "For I am the Lord your God. You shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and you shall be holy, because I am holy. For I am the Lord that brings you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Therefore you shall be holy, because I am holy." Okay, there it is. Be holy because I am holy. It is an instruction. It is a commandment. All right? Be holy because I am holy. In other words, be like me. Become like me. Then, all right, it gets better, because just in case we might have missed it the first time, we can look at Leviticus chapter 19, verses 1 and 2. The Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, "Speak unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, you shall be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Okay? Very concise statement. Thou shalt be holy. In other words, we are instructed to become like God. See, when we consciously start to become like God, we become creators. We become the creators of our own happiness and the creators of our own fulfillment. We become a cause instead of being just an effect. We take upon ourselves the light and the divinity that we already are. And we become healers in the darkness. Okay, so how do we become like God? It's simple. It takes us back to the original question. How do we unite left and right? Well, what do left and right mean is terms in the Kabbalah. The right is codenamed Adam. The right means to give and share. The left is codenamed Eve. The left means the desire to receive. The right, or the desire to give, is considered masculine. That's the reason why God is traditionally represented as a male being. The left, or the desire to receive, is considered feminine. And everything that has solid form is considered feminine. Humanity as a whole is part of the feminine aspect of God. Now, there are many other code names for this concept of giving and receiving, because the Bible is just the same story told over and over again. Okay, all right, so here's what we have so far. God, or the right hand, is always giving and sharing. Always giving and sharing light and blessings and abundance. And humanity, or the left hand, is always receiving food and air and water and shelter. And if we don't receive, if we stop receiving, we die. Okay, and there's the problem. Left and right are separated as far apart as they can go. God always giving, humanity always receiving. And so the split between giving and receiving, or right and left, created a second split, appearing to cut humanity off from God. So now we have a division, not just between left and right, but also up and down. And this created a third split that causes us to believe that what's out there is separate from what's in here. All right? And it should be no surprise that our world out there is filled with the appearance of division and split and people against people. But we have our formula. When we heal left and right, we automatically heal up and down. When we heal the inside, we also heal the outside, because nobody is healed alone in the kingdom. So, if God is always sharing and humanity is always receiving, because humanity has to receive and God has to give, what are we going to do? When we are basically commanded to become like God, what are we supposed to do? Okay, here it is. All right, here it is. We must receive for the purpose of sharing. All right, we must receive for the purpose of sharing. And how often have you seen this gesture in religious art? That's what it means. I am receiving for the purpose of sharing. That's all encoded all through the Bible. But the first thing I thought of that is the basic idea behind the concept of tithing. Okay, that's just what I thought of first. The law of tithing has been distorted and manipulated in so many ways because in a lot of churches, tithing means give me your money or else. So don't let them scare you. Okay, the laws of tithing is all through the book of Leviticus. You know, the giving of the first fruit and the tithe of the tithe and setting apart a portion of your bread dough. All right, and all of this was for the purpose of to guide us in how to receive for the purpose of sharing. The rabbi from Nazareth, remember him? The rabbi from Nazareth said, "The poor you have always with you." Remember that? But look, here's the thing. Here's a news flash. It does not mean that poverty is necessary or inevitable. Okay, and that's news to a lot of people. It means that we always have opportunities to share from what we have received. All right? Always opportunities. It's a simple concept. We heal the division of left and right by learning to receive for the purpose of sharing. It is not always obvious how to do this. But when we have the consciousness, we will always be shown how. Even, here's the thing, maybe even especially in our spiritual practices and our spiritual studies, it's never for ourselves alone. This is important. This is for real. Receiving for ourselves alone creates separation between ourselves and God. And our spiritual studies bring light into the world. So we must, and this is very important, we must always approach our spiritual studies and our spiritual practices in a consciousness that we are bringing light into the world for the purpose of sharing that light. Okay, let's say it again. In our spiritual studies and our meditation and our practice and our reading, we are receiving the Creator's light. And we must always approach those spiritual practices in a consciousness that we are receiving healing and light for the purpose of sharing it with others. When we receive the spiritual light for ourselves alone, we create distance between ourselves and God. It's counterproductive. And I'll tell you something, I have become convinced over the decades, I have become convinced that we are prevented from receiving the enlightenment and the healing and the blessings that we've worked for and prayed for simply because by receiving that for ourselves alone, we would create distance between ourselves and God. No one is healed alone because we must receive the healing light in the consciousness of receiving for the purpose of sharing it. Leviticus chapter 11, be holy because I'm holy. You shall be holy because I am holy. Now, I know that some of you all are reading a book called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. And I'm reading it too, by the way. It's a great book. I would go so far as to recommend it if you're not already reading it. And it's about healing left and right, and specifically a lot about healing left and right brain. And it's important to keep in mind that I am not healed alone. I am bringing in the healing light for myself, yes, but in some right way to share that with the whole world. So when I heal left and right, I automatically heal up and down. When I heal the inside, I also heal the outside because no one is healed alone in the kingdom. Now, I hope you're starting to understand what I'm talking about. When I start to become like God by receiving for the purpose of sharing, I'm healing the split. I'm bringing together masculine and feminine, fire and water, and proton and electron, and Abraham and Isaac, and right and left. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of other metaphors from all over the world because they're all saying the same thing. I am becoming like God and healing the split between my own being. And when I heal my own consciousness, then that contributes to the healing of the whole world. It is the healing that the world is crying out for. The healing we all know the world is crying out for every time we endure the evening news. We're all healers. But our first responsibility is to heal myself left and right, meaning to receive only for the purpose of sharing. And I automatically heal up and down, meaning I unite my divinity with my humanity. And when I heal my inside, then it helps to heal, or it does heal, everyone's outside, because no one is healed alone in the kingdom of God. Now, much of this material has come as a result of reading this amazing book called Becoming Like God by Michael Berg. It's short, it's an easy read. If you read it and look at it, it'll change your life. And I want to close today with a special blessing that comes to us from Numbers chapter 6. So there, you can enforce social distancing. Tell them Leviticus 11 and 19 and Numbers chapter 6, and they will social distance themselves. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read this to you and read the blessing in Hebrew for the connection, and then we'll do it in English. Here it is. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemo. Debel echon ve'el banav lemo ko devachu et bnei Yisrael. Amor ham. Yevolecha Adonai v'shmelecha. Ye'el Adonai panav elecha v'chudeka. Yisal Adonai panav elecha v'smala shalom. V'asamot shemi ale bnei Yisrael v'ani avachem. Amen. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, so shall you bless the children of Israel. Say to them, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift up his countenance for you and give you grace. May the Lord lift his face towards you and give you peace. And they shall place my name upon the children of Israel, and I shall bless them." Thank you for letting me be your guest speaker this morning. I love you guys and I miss you.
Thank you, Mark. Great, great.
Can he hear us?
Bravo, bravo. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Mark, dear.
Thank you, Mark.
So we've had a couple of people come in. We have Susan Barnes from Belize has joined us. Welcome, Susan. We have George Harris from Durango. George, we're glad you're here, buddy.
Thank you so much, Mark, and welcome to everybody new.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just kind of wanted to wait until after the meeting, but Jim and Linda, Little Tree, would you guys want to unmute and say something to the congregation? This is your first time, and I just wanted to recognize you, but I'd like to give you an opportunity to speak and let us know your impressions of our little meeting.
No pressure.
Can you unmute?
Can you give us a closing prayer? We're not.
Go ahead, Jim. You're unmuted.
I did. I've unmuted.
You're kind of breaking up, but yeah, go ahead and speak.
Okay. Well, I wanted to wanted to thank everyone for letting me be a part of their service this morning. I enjoyed it, and it was very, very beneficial, and it's good to be around.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Linda. Little Tree.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much. And we miss everybody. Stay safe. And we love you, Mark. We enjoy your message. One day we'll be together again. Bye.
Right. Thank you. We're glad that you are here. one of the things that we have not had an opportunity to do, George hasn't been able to be with us for the last couple of weeks, but George is with us, and I want to give everyone an opportunity to express their gratitude to George for being our pastor for all these years, and to say a few words to him. So we can start with Bill, and we'll go to Mike. I don't know how your screen is adjusted, but just unmute yourself and tell George a few words if you'd like to.
Hi, George. I hope you're doing well up there in Durango, and I think everything's kind of getting back to normal downtown. There you are, have that city ordinance on the mask, but I hope that you're doing well and that you're finding some fulfillment in this time that has passed, and that you're healthy, and truly appreciate all your contributions over the last 9 years. God bless you.
Jerry?
Okay, there I am now. Yes, I just wanted to thank George for his attention over the years to our growth and our spirituality, and hope that he is staying healthy and well, and that finding his way up there, separate from New Mexico. I know Colorado has a whole different set of issues than New Mexico does, and I just hope that he stays safe and healthy, and we just appreciate everything he's done for us over the years and wish him nothing but the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Marion, you can go ahead and talk.
Hi, George. Good morning. Namaste. I'm wishing you the very best. I hope you will come and visit us as part of the congregation when we get back to church, hopefully soon. And we just appreciate so much. You did so much for this church, and you are loved. And God bless and stay well.
John, Neva.
Unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Hi, George. We really do appreciate all that you've done for us. And we appreciate your words of wisdom every week, every day, actually, on the computer, on the email. I get a lot out of those. And we hope that you are happy and finding something for the rest of your life up there in Durango. And we sure would like to see you come visit us again in Farmington. We love you.
George, we love you and miss you and appreciate all you've done for us. We'll always be grateful. Thank you.
Margaret.
Hi, George. It's good to see you again. Thank you for all you've done for us. And I really appreciate some of the meditations, especially that you were teaching us. And I miss you and hope we get to see you again.
Linda.
Oh my gosh, I would not know where to begin, because George has contributed so much to not only my life, but to Rachel's life as well. And I just really thank you a lot for your counseling, for your the strength that you've given all of us, to go on. I appreciate your breathing classes, all of those things that you gave extra beyond just your ministry to the church. So thank you, and I hope that you'll be able to continue those things as well, maybe on Zoom. Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. Jenny?
Okay, I would second that emotion with Linda. I think that the guidance that you've given the church and just the atmosphere that you've created is absolutely incredible. And I appreciate knowing someone who has a direct line to spirit. And I think that the classes that you've established and the spin-offs from those classes are really critical and wonderful. And just the guidance that you've given all of us, each and every one individually and as a congregation. I think it's just phenomenal. And yeah, 9 years, that's a lot of guidance and a lot of direct line to spirit. And so thank you for the inspiration and your dedication.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Linda?
Huh?
No, Linda Littletree, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ron, her name is Carol.
Oh, I'm sorry. Carol, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, George. Be safe. And we hope that you're doing well. And we will see you sometime in the future. Take care. And thank you.
What about Carol's daughter?
My daughter.
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law. That's okay.
Yes, George, thank you. We appreciate everything that you've done for our family. We just want to thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Okay. Yeah, George, you got quite a history with us. I just hope it continues.
Yes.
I hope you feel like you're part of our family and join us as often as you can because we really value you. Now, Annie.
Annie, is that me? Can you hear me? George, oh boy, this is tough. I miss you so, dear, and I'm so grateful for what you have done for me since meeting you. My spiritual growth is amazing. I'd sure like to visit over a cup of coffee with you anytime, dear. I love you and miss you, George. Thank you so much for what you've done for me.
Yeah, come see us all, George.
Thank you, Mark. Or go ahead, Susan.
Well, I want to thank George for taking such good care of all of you, my family. You know, I hadn't realized how long it was that we had spent with all of you until I was telling somebody about this Zoom thing, and I said, well, yeah, you know, we had the church from 90 to 2012. I mean, that's 22 years that the church, and so I am so grateful that, George, you were able to take good care of all of my family. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Mark?
Yeah, Ron, I'm supposed to tell you to stop recording. But